Big Papa with the Average Joe Barbecue Show. Today what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you my award-winning shrimp cake sliders. I used them this weekend in a SEA event in Searcy, Arkansas to benefit the Jesse Dillon James Foundation. If it's a great foundation, if you hadn't ever looked at it, look it up online. If you're looking for something to donate to, these people are doing a great job of what they're doing with the Jesse Dillon James Foundation. But to start off with, I'm going to give you the recipe, show you how to mix up the shrimp cakes. You start off with a pound of clean and peeled deveined shrimp, and you chop it up pretty fine. I went ahead and did the chopping. I didn't want to do the, bore y'all with that, but you see the consistency. You kind of chop it up pretty fine. You don't want it too fine where it's a mush. You want some chunks in there, but you don't want it too chunky where it won't stick together when you put the breadcrumbs. So you take the 1 pound of the clean, peeled, and deveined shrimp. You add it. I always like to just break it up a little bit. All right. Then after that, you'll take 1 cup of panko bread crumbs. I like to use the panko breadcrumbs because they will brown easier when you put them on the grill. So 1 cup of breadcrumbs. Then next, 1 tablespoon of Old Bay seasoning. You can use whatever seafood seasoning you like, or Cajun seasoning, whatever you like. But I like Old Bay, so 1 tablespoon of Old Bay. Then next, we want 2 teaspoons of the all queued up steak shake. If you don't have the all queued up steak shake, you're welcome to use salt, pepper, and garlic. But this has it all mixed in and a great blend, and I like to use it. So we're going to put in 2 teaspoons of that. Next, whatever your favorite hot sauce is, you can go as hot as you want to. You can leave this step out all together if you'd like. But I like mine with a little kick. So you're just going to do a couple little dashes of hot sauce. I guess that's probably somewhere close to a teaspoon if you're wanting the exact measurement. Then after that, I'm going to take Dijon mustard. I always want to shake it up real good. And you're going to want about a tablespoon of Dijon mustard. And that is about a tablespoon. After that, you'll want Worcestershire sauce. I like Lea & Perrins. You can use whatever you want. You're just going to want about 2 teaspoons, which is about there. Then after you get all the ingredients in, you just stir it up. Now you don't want to stir it real rough because you don't want to break the shrimp down any more than they're already been broken down. But you want to get a good stir. You want to get everything stirred in and combined together well. You want to make sure that the breadcrumbs are all throughout. You don't want some of the shrimp to have breadcrumbs on them and some of them not to. Okay, once you get it combined up pretty good, then you're going to come in with the last ingredient, which is 2 large eggs. And this is just going to be your binder. That holds everything together. It's going to be kind of like the glue that holds everything together. So you put those in, and then you just continue to stir until they get incorporated in also. And then that is going to be it for the actual shrimp cake. Another thing, I mean, you don't have to use shrimp. You can use lump crab meat for these. You can even use the imitation if you want to, but this is just what I like. This is what won the Any Slider Ancillary this weekend at Searcy. So I'm just showing you exactly what I did. All right, once you get those nice and stirred up, you're done with that for the time being. Then you want to start to make your patties. I forgot to tell you, while you're doing this, have your charcoal getting ready. I've got my Lumberjack lump charcoal getting ready in my charcoal chimney. getting ready to pour it into the Tribal Fire grill. But this is what I like to use for my to make my patties. You can just pat them out by hand if you want to, but this just kind of makes them even and symmetrical. That handle kind of gets in the way. This is actually my biscuit cutter, but you just put them in there, kind of pat them down, maybe about halfway full, maybe a little less than halfway full, and there you go. You got your perfect patty. Make sure you fill in all the gaps. Perfect patty. I always like to pat them down just a little bit. Okay, now that I got all my patties done, come back here with my lumberjack charcoal that I've had getting ready. Pour it in the Tribal Fire grill. And then we got set up for grilling. Give it a few minutes to come up to temp. All right, now once we got the grill ready, got the lumberjack charcoal in and the Tribal Fire grill, you just want to get your shrimp cakes. I'm using a copper grill mat just for ease of cleanup. I'll put it right here on the top. And just arrange them right there in the top. Let them go. You're going to let them cook on each side for about 3.5 minutes or until they're golden brown. We'll flip them over and then we'll go from there after that. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make the butter that's going to be for my buns. I'm going to toast my buns, and I'm also going to use it for something on presentation. What I've got is I've got 2 teaspoons of a Hotty Toddy Climax AP rub. I'm going to put that in the butter. And then I'm going to put just a couple of dashes of the Old Bay seasoning to keep the same flavor profiles going. I'm going to take that and stir it up real good. I use squeeze butter. You can use, you know, whatever butter you want. I'm just being lazy. It mixes easier and is ready to go on straight out of the bottle. I do use Parkay squeeze butter. Then once you get that mixed up, you're just wanting to put a little butter on all your buns. Give it a different texture and also a little bit of flavor. If you're wondering, I'm using the Hawaiian Sweet, King's Hawaiian Sweet Slider buns. These are a little bit bigger than the rolls, but they taste the same. So this, the Climax AP and that Old Bay will take a little bit of the sweetness out. I think they're a little too sweet, just like they are. Okay, so they've been cooking for about 3.5 minutes. So you just take your crab cakes, flip them over. You see they're starting to golden brown on the one side. You just take them and flip them all over. Then about another 3.5, 4 minutes on the other side. Now we just got them all flipped over, and while we're waiting, we're going to get some shrimp prepped up. Like I said, these are just going to be for a presentation part of the dish, but presentation is important. That's part of your score. So I'm just taking some peeled and deveined shrimp, still have the tails on. Taking a little bit of Old Bay seasoning, sprinkling a little bit on each side. So you just do it that way, and you just take them and flip them over. We're going to grill these in just a minute, and I'll show you what I did with them for the presentation. There we go. Those are ready. All right, we've been going for about 3.5 minutes on the other side, so we're ready to take these crab cakes up and see how they're getting browned on top. That's what we're wanting to see. Get a little crunch to them, a little texture. Your shrimp crab cakes, Cajun shrimp crab cakes, we're going to put them on right here. Slide them around over here to keep them warm. One of the things I love about the Tribal Fire Grill. And we're going to cover them up because we've got some other things we got to do real quick. So we're going to cover them up, keep them warm, and then we'll be right back. All right, once we get our crab cakes off, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to toast our buns. These are not going to take long at all. That grill is screaming hot. So it's basically, literally, you put them on. I usually do it, I was doing them 3 at a time. You put 3 of them on, and then you turn around and you start taking them off. You got those little grill marks on there, a little toast to them. You don't want them toasted real hard. You don't want them burnt, but you just want to give them a little texture, a little taste. So, I mean, that's pretty simple. I only have 5 buns left, so we're only going to do 5 buns. For the competition, you have to do 6, but I don't have 6 left because of the competition. So, there we go again. Just put them on. Then you pull them off. Got your pretty toasted buns ready for your sliders. All right, after your buns get done, we're going to take those shrimp that we put a little bit of that Old Bay season on. We're going to throw them on the Tribal Fire Grill on top. We'll let them sit there and cook for just a second. And as they're cooking, remember we had that other butter. Take that butter, and you're just going to, whoops, kind of stuck to it, didn't it? Take that butter and just lightly, I just glob it. Let it melt down over the top. We'll give it a little flavor. We'll keep it nice and juicy. And if you notice, I'm doing a few more shrimp than I need because you always got to have quality control. I call it cook's preference. These will not take long at all either. Had them cooking for just a couple of minutes. Flip those over. Shrimp doesn't take long. You just want it to start coming opaque, translucent, whatever you want to call it. So we'll flip those. Now we'll come back with a little more butter on this side. A little dab will do you. Come in and put them in my pan here. And I'll show you what I'm going to do with those here in just a minute. All right, now we're going to start prepping them to get ready for the presentation and the eating part. I got my Gunnar Wilhelm knives here. One thing you got to do is maintain these knives. That's with any knife, not just Gunnar Wilhelm. I've got my Honen steel here, and it's real simple. You've got a thick side, which is a 22-degree angle. You got a thin side, which is a 15. You want to do the 15-degree angle. And all you do, apply a little pressure. You just do this 4 or 5 times on each side. Steady pressure. And that just keeps your knives maintained. So the first thing we'll do is we're going to put some remoulade sauce. This is a homemade Cajun remoulade sauce that I made. I'll show you the recipe later. I already had it pre-made. And we're going to put that on the top and bottom buns. You don't want to make it too gloppy, but you want enough to taste. All right, then the next step after the remoulade sauce, I'm going to take a Roma tomato. They're small. That's the reason I'm using Roma, is because it fits good on the small buns. And you want to make thin cuts, so when you bite into them, you're not pulling the tomato off that you can bite through it. It really helps to have a good sharp knife to be able to do that. So you just slice those up, and you take a slice of tomato, put them on each one. Next, I've got some red leaf lettuce. For a little color, other than just plain old green. You just want to take a little bit of the red leaf lettuce on each one. Make sure you don't get the stems in there. As you go farther down, the stems get wider. You don't want any of the stems in there. It wouldn't be very pleasing to the palate and for texture. See what I'm talking about there with the stem? When it gets farther down, that's just kind of crunchy and wouldn't be very good to eat, or not as good to eat. You'll just take one, put it on each bun. Fits perfect. That's important when you're doing contests. It's not so important when you're just cooking at home. But when you're doing contests, you want everything to look great. So, all right. Now you just take the top, flip it over, give it a little press. And you would think that would be it. But I did this for a contest, and I was trying to make it look as pretty as I could. So you have one last step. And I did this mainly to let the judges know that they were eating shrimp. You just take that grilled shrimp that we did, take a little toothpick, so it'll hold on there. And there you have it, Big Papa's Cajun Shrimp Cake Sliders. Award-winning. Gave me first place this weekend in Searcy, the SCA competition. All right, so we got those Cajun Shrimp Cake Sliders made up. If you're looking for something different to do for a game day, or if you're looking for something different to do as an appetizer, those things are wonderful. Cooking them on the Tribal Fire Grill with the lumberjack charcoal and a little bit of that Arcasipi combo, I promise you, you won't be disappointed. I appreciate you watching the Average Joe Barbecue Show with Big Papa. Look forward to seeing you again. Have a blessed day, and I'll see you next time.